All right, let's jump into something that speaks to my soul a little bit, and that's the world of poetry.
Oh.
Specifically, we're diving into the works of Andrea D'Addario. You sent over Con gli occhi dell'anima, which I have to say, even just like glancing at it in Italian, it already feels so personal.
Yeah, it really is, and I think that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating.
Okay.
We're not just kind of picking apart poems, but we're really looking for that window into D'Addario, who he is, his observations about life, about love, about all of it,
Yeah.
but with this really unique voice.
Okay, so no pressure, but our mission today is to figure out, like, what makes his poetry tick?
Yeah.
What are those themes? What are those emotions he's working through?
Yeah.
What makes him stand out from other poets who might try to tackle similar things?
Right, and I think we'll find those nuances in there. Because you're right, he's not writing about things that are necessarily unique, like, nature, for instance, but it's how he examines them that makes him stand out.
So where do we even begin this journey into D'Addario?
Well, one of the first things that stood out to me was how he uses nature.
Okay.
It's not just description, but you feel the silence in it. For example, he uses the night sky quite a bit, and in Notte, he refers to it as manto di velluto blu, a velvet blue cloak.
Wow.
Or in Il vento nei capelli, the wind is this character almost.
Yeah, and I'm seeing that even in the titles, La pioggia notte il vento nei capelli, you're right there in it.
Yeah.
But it's more than just pretty background, right?
Exactly. Lots of poets use nature, but D'Addario, he looks for the stillness.
Okay.
Those moments when the world around us mirrors what's inside. Like rain could be seen as, melancholy.
Right.
But in La pioggia, he finds a quiet joy in it, describing it as piccole gocce che scivolano piano, those tiny drops sliding slowly.
Yeah.
It's almost as if he finds a peace in that.
It's true. I mean, anybody can say rainy day, but those tiny drops sliding slowly, that's a whole picture.
Yes.
That's a feeling.
And it's that feeling that's really important for D'Addario.
Yeah.
He's not just looking at nature, he's seeking something in it.
Okay.
Understanding, even answers maybe?
There's a thoughtfulness to it.
Yes.
Like he's noticing things that maybe we just rush past in our daily lives.
Yeah.
It makes me think of that, like, stop and smell the roses. He's really examining.
You've hit on something really crucial there.
Yeah.
It's this keen observation that sets D'Addario apart, and it's not just big landscapes. It's the tiniest details.
Okay.
Like in the poem, La prima volta che un bimbo vede la luna, when his nephew sees the moon for the first time.
La prima volta che un bimbo vede la luna. Even just that title, there's like this sense of wonder.
Yeah.
It makes me think of when things felt new and full of possibility.
And that's exactly what D'Addario captures so well in this poem.
Okay.
He sees his nephew's just pure awe, this innocent question, Me la premio te. Can you get it for me, Arte? Which is so simple, but it speaks volumes about how a child sees the world, right?
Yeah, that anything is possible.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, it's like he's rediscovering that wonder through his nephew.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's a bit of nostalgia there, too.
Oh, absolutely.
That, like, wish to see the world with that same kind of view.
Nostalgia and time are huge in D'Addario's work.
Yeah.
Always thinking about childhood, memories, how they make us who we are.
Right, like in Ricordi, which is memories.
Exactly.
I really connected with how he talks about those carefree days, running around, and then the weight of being an adult.
Yeah, and he uses this phrase, dolce lungo passato, a sweet long past. It's not just remembering, it's part of him now.
Yeah, like those memories are built into us.
Yeah.
Influence how we experience things, even how we write.
Totally.
Speaking of, let's dive into some specific poems that showcase his style.
Okay.
You mentioned Notte.
Yeah.
What makes that one so impactful?
Well, it's like a masterclass in imagery, but imagery that reflects what's happening inside him.
Okay.
It's not just describing a night sky, it's a reflection of his emotions.
Okay, so I'm imagining Starry Night.
Right.
Knowing him, there's got to be more to it.
Oh, absolutely. From the first line, nottes solo un manto di velluto blu sui miei occhi stanchi.
Okay.
Which is night. Only a velvet blue cloak upon my weary eyes. You immediately feel this weight.
Right.
And he talks to the night. Notte morte ti succede. Anche tu stai piangendo con me. Night, what's happening to you? Are you crying with me too?
Wow.
It's like he's not alone in this sadness.
Yeah.
Even the night sky feels it too.
That is powerful, to find comfort
Yeah.
in something as vast as the night sky.
Right.
Speaks to a deep loneliness.
Yes.
But also that desire to connect.
Exactly. And that's what's so engaging about D'Addario.
I see.
He puts these raw emotions, these human experiences out there in a way that feels so personal, but also so relatable.
So we have this melancholy,
Yes.
this longing in Nate.
Yeah.
But you said he explores a range of emotions.
Yeah.
So what's a poem that shows a different side of him?
Well, while Nate shows D'Addario's melancholy, Solo per te reveals this incredible tenderness.
Okay.
It's a love poem, this yearning to be close to someone.
Yeah, this one felt different.
Yeah.
Like he trades in that heavy cloak of night for something much lighter.
Exactly.
I remember these lines about wanting to be leggero quanto la polvere danzante in un raggio di luce, as light as dust dancing in a ray of light.
Yes, beautiful imagery.
It is.
He wants to be carried by the suave brezza di un alba rosseggiante, this gentle breeze of a reddening dawn to get to his loved one. Even the sadness has hope in it.
Yeah, it is very hopeful.
Poignant, but romantic.
It's interesting, though, even in this love poem,
Yeah.
there's this longing.
Yeah.
Like he's separated from this person he loves.
Right.
And it makes me wonder if that longing isn't just about romantic love, but something even bigger, you know?
You've hit on something crucial about D'Addario's work.
Okay.
There's this constant yearning in his poems, a sense of searching for something just beyond his grasp.
Okay.
The way he sees nature, thinks about the past, even how he writes about love. It's like he's looking for answers to life's big questions. In everyday moments, in those fleeting moments of beauty and connection we experience as humans.
That's insightful.
Thank you.
It's like he's inviting us along on this search to find our own meaning.
Absolutely.
Okay, but before we get too deep, there's one poem we haven't talked about, Lettera ad un bimbo mai nato.
Right.
I have to say, this one really stuck with me.
It shows just how much depth D'Addario has to face such a loss, to speak directly to a child who never was.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking, but also incredibly powerful.
He even refers to himself as Zitto uncle.
I know.
That detail makes it so much more personal.
Yeah.
So much more real. It's like he's trying to reach across time.
Yeah.
To bridge this gap between what is and what could have been. There's so much sadness there.
Yes.
But also this love.
Yes.
That's so strong.
It's beautiful. And I think that ability to find the beauty in the hardest parts of life, that's what makes him so talented.
It reminds us that even in those dark moments, there's still room for love.
Yes.
For connection.
Absolutely. It speaks to how strong we are as humans.
Yeah, we've talked about nature, time, love, loss. Is there something that connects it all? In his work, is there a common thread?
You know, it's interesting you say that, because one thing that keeps coming up is this idea of life as a journey.
Okay.
And it's often shown through movement.
Okay.
Remember, il vento nei capelli, the wind in my hair. He uses riding the wind on his skin as a way to talk about the ups and downs we all go through.
Right, that poem felt so free.
Yes.
You could almost feel that wind yourself as he was racing through the night.
Exactly. But even in that excitement, there are pauses. Moments of thought. It's like he's saying, even as we're rushing ahead, we have to look inside to face our doubts, to really understand what we've been through.
Like embrace the whole journey.
Yes.
Not just the highs.
D'Addario reminds us that life is about discovering who we are. It's full of surprises, good and bad. And in those quiet moments, when we face ourselves, that's when we really grow.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into D'Addario's work, what's the key takeaway for our listener?
You know, I think it's that his poetry, it goes beyond language, beyond culture even.
Okay.
He's talking about those things we all feel. Love, loss, searching for meaning.
Right.
He reminds us to really see the world, to cherish those memories, and to find beauty in everything if we just take a moment.
It's like he's saying, slow down. It's okay to feel things deeply.
Yes.
To find that wonder.
Absolutely. And I keep thinking about that quote of his, perché la vita è poesia.
I love that quote.
Because life is poetry.
It's so simple, but it says so much.
He goes on, it intoxicates and warms you as only it knows how. It takes you and transports you for a moment that seems eternal into another dimension, suspended in time and space.
It's like he's encouraging us to find those moments in our own lives.
Yes.
To make our experiences mean something.
Exactly. And maybe that's the best thing D'Addario gives us.
Yeah.
A new appreciation for how beautiful but also fragile life is.
Yeah.
And the power we all have to find meaning, connection, even poetry.
In everyday life.
Exactly.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Thank you.
So as we close the book on Andrea D'Addario, I hope you'll carry a bit of his wisdom with you.
Yes.
Remember, life is poetry. Now go out and find your verse.
I love it.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.